In this video, we'll talk about transformations of functions. First, let's assume we have a function of real numbers, y equals f of x. And we can graph function f of x in a coordinate plane. First, let's talk about to vertically shift the graph of y equals f of x. Let's assume there's a positive number k. If you add the number k to the whole function of f of x, then you are shifting the graph of f of x k units up. Similarly, if you subtract k from the whole function of f of x, then you are shifting the graph of f of x k units down. We will use y equals x cubed as an example here. We can see this is the graph of y equals x cubed. And here you can see if you add the 2 to the whole function, the graph of y equals x cubed shift up 2 units. The green one is the graph of y equals x cubed plus 2. If you subtract y equals x cubed by 3, you get y equals x cubed minus 3, and the graph is to shift y equals x cubed 3 units down. You get this purple curve. Next, let's talk about the horizontal shifts. Say we have a positive number h, and if you replace x with x plus h in the function, then you're shifting the graph of f of x h units to the left. Similarly, if you replace x by x minus h into the function, then you're shifting the graph of y equals f of x h units to the right. Again, we will use y equals x cubed as our example. If you replace x with x plus 1 in the function, then you can see the graph shifted 1 unit to the left. And if you replace x by x minus 4 in the function, then you can see the graph will be moved 4 units to the right. Now let's talk about the transformations of reflections. If you multiply a negative 1 to the whole function f of x, then you're reflecting the graph of f of x across the x-axis. Take y equals square root of x, for example. We know the graph of this function roughly look like this. If you multiply a negative 1 to the whole function, you get y equals negative square root of x. And you can see the original y becomes negative y, right? If you see it in the graph, the original y becomes negative y. That means your graph will reflect across the x-axis. So your graph will look like this. So this will be y equals negative square root of x. Next reflection. If you replace x in the function by negative x, then the graph will be reflected across the y-axis. So again, we will use the same function as an example, y equals square root of x, and we know the graph of it roughly look like this. All right, if we replace x by negative x in the function, then we'll have y equals square root of negative x. And you can see here the x value becomes negative x in the function. So in the graph, every x value will shift to its negative x value. So your graph will be reflected along the y-axis. Next, we'll talk about the vertical stretch and the vertical compress. This happens when we multiply a positive number a to the whole function f of x. If this a is a number that is greater than 1, then we have a vertical stretch here. If this a number is between 0 and 1, and then we have a vertical compress. Again, we will use y equals x cubed as an example. We can see y equals 2x cubed, which is this purple graph, is vertically stretching y equals x cubed by a factor of 2. You can see for a function of y equals x cubed, you have 1 in the function, kind of right here. And for y equals 2x cubed, and you have 1, 2. That means the graph is vertically stretched. So the graph got longer, kind of. Now let's compare y equals x cubed with y equals 1/2 x cubed. We're multiplying 1/2 to the whole function. And you can see the function is compressed by a factor of 1/2. You can see originally you have the 1 point, and here you have 1/2 here. So the graph is kind of being compressed vertically. And this example is more clear than the previous one. This function is y equals sine x. The graph looks like this, like waves going forever. And you can see the highest point, or the maximum value, is 1. And the minimum value is -1. And if I multiply this whole function by 2 sine of x, and then you can see the graph. Let me make the whole graph a little bit smaller. You can see the green graph is 2 times sine of x. You can see the whole graph is being stretched vertically, right, by a factor of 2. And if I want to graph y equals 1/2 sine of x, and you can see this purple one is the graph, and you can tell the graph is being compressed by a factor of 1/2. The last two transformations are the horizontal stretch and the horizontal compress. This happens when we multiply a positive number a to the x in the function. In other words, we're replacing x by ax in the function. So if your a is a small number between 0 and 1, then that means your x is getting smaller, right? So it will reach the original y value slower than before. So it looks like your graph is being horizontally stretched. If you have a greater than 1, that means your x is getting bigger than before. So you're actually reaching the original y value faster than before. So it looks like your graph is being horizontally compressed. Again, here I want to use y equals sine as our example. You can see for this graph, the wave will go up and down. This is called one period for the length of 2 pi. So 2 pi is actually the period of sine x. And let's look at sine of 2x. The black one is sine of 2x. And you can see the period now becomes pi. So multiplying 2 on the x will actually make the graph horizontally compressed by a factor of 2. Now let's look at the graph of sine of 1/2 x, meaning replacing x with 1/2 x. And you can see the graph is being horizontally stretched by a factor of 2. So you can see the period now becomes 4 pi instead of 2 pi. So it's horizontally stretched. The period becomes longer. And this is the end of this video. I hope this video helped you understand the transformation of functions a little bit better. And I will see you in the next video.